In 1940, an American adventurer and journalist emerged from the Honduran jungle with an extraordinary claim. He had found La Ciudad Blanca, the legendary white city that Spanish conquistadors had sought for centuries. He had walked its streets, documented its structures, and made contact with its inhabitants. But before he could lead an expedition back, he was found dead under mysterious circumstances, and the city vanished from the map. The legend of the White City had tantalized explorers since the 1500s. Spanish accounts described a fabulous city deep in the Mosquitia rainforest, filled with gold and ruled by an unknown civilization. Indigenous Peak people spoke of the City of the Monkey God that their ancestors had abandoned after a terrible catastrophe. Hernán Cortés himself had sent expeditions to find it, all of which returned empty-handed or didn't return at all. Theodore Morde was sponsored by the Museum of the American Indian and backed by the High Foundation. He spent months preparing, learning indigenous languages, and gathering information from local sources who claimed to know the city's general location. In 1940, he entered the Mosquitia with a small team and disappeared into some of Earth's densest jungle. His expedition journals describe weeks of difficult travel, encounters with indigenous guides who seemed to know exactly where he was heading, and eventual arrival at a site exceeding his expectations. He described massive stone walls covered in vegetation, carved monuments depicting monkey figures, a central plaza larger than any in Mesoamerica, and evidence of a population that had lived there relatively recently. Food stores remained in some buildings, tools lay where they had been dropped. It was as if the inhabitants had left suddenly and never returned. Most significantly, Morde claimed to have made contact with people still living near the city. He described them as secretive but not hostile, willing to show him the ruins, but warning that outsiders were not welcome to stay. They told him the city had been abandoned generations ago after a curse fell upon it, but that guardians remained to protect its secrets. Morde returned to the United States a celebrity. Newspapers across the country published his accounts of the discovery. The High Foundation announced plans for a major expedition to excavate the city. Morde himself began organizing the return journey, promising to reveal the city's exact location once the expedition was properly funded and equipped. Then things went wrong. His expedition journals were stolen from his hotel room. Several artifacts he had brought back disappeared from museum storage. Key team members died in accidents or suddenly refused to discuss what they'd seen. Morde became increasingly paranoid, telling friends that he was being followed and that powerful people didn't want the city found. He began sleeping with a gun under his pillow. On June 26, 1954, Theodore Morde was found hanging in his parents' bathroom. His death was ruled suicide, but friends and family disputed this vigorously. His detailed notes on the city's location were never found. The route he had mapped existed only in his memory, and that memory died with him. But in 2015, using lighter technology penetrating jungle canopy, researchers discovered a massive archaeological site in the Mosquitia, exactly where Morde claimed. The ruins showed evidence of a sophisticated civilization that flourished for centuries before suddenly abandoning their city. Excavations recovered artifacts matching Morde's descriptions. The discovery validated Morde's account decades after his death. Yet the most important question remains unanswered. Who didn't want the city found, and what happened to the guardians Morde claimed to have met?